I don't eat bread. I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't regularly eat processed foods. I avoid bad oils. I walk, I work out, I intermittent fast, I play with my kids, and I even grow most of the food that I eat. But I have still been plagued with 4 ailments that have been ruining my life. In this video, I'm going to talk about my 100-day journey on the carnivore diet, the 4 ailments that were absolutely cured for me, and some bonus benefits that really blew me away. Finally, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about why I do not plan on being strict carnivore forever. Let's get to it. So my first ailment is plantar fasciitis. Now, plantar fasciitis is the inflammation of the plantar fascia, which is like a strap of tendon that goes along the heel of your foot. It feels like a stabbing pain going right up in your heel. It is usually caused by standing and putting weight on your heel for too long. It's really painful and really bothersome. Even driving, like if I'm not in cruise control, it was a real issue for me. So I got this from, ironically, doing something healthy, which was running. I was training for an ultra marathon, which was a dream of my dad's, and I wanted to support him in running that. So I trained really hard, but developed plantar fasciitis while doing that. So 10 years later, I am not a runner, but I still have the pain of plantar fasciitis. Within my first 2 weeks of carnivore, it's gone. And when I say gone, I mean manageable. I still know that it exists. I don't just walk around barefoot on tile just to test my limits. I still take precautions, but it does not affect my life. So within 2 weeks, I noticed a change. 100 days after that, most days I don't even notice that it's there. If you're watching this, the numbers say you've probably experienced back pain. Globally, 540 million people currently today experience back pain regularly, and 8 out of 10 Americans will experience back pain at some point in their life. So chances are you have it, you have had it, or you will have it. And if you've experienced back pain, you know that it's not so much the back pain, although don't get me wrong, the pain is terrible. It's the feeling of helplessness. And honestly, for me, it got very depressing. So for someone that likes to work out, likes to play with their kids, and has this homestead where I need to move buckets of water, like move animals, take down fences, like there's no shortage of things that require me bending over and working on stuff. It got very depressing to have bad back pain. It was gone in maybe the first 7 days, absolutely the first 2 weeks, definitely by 30 days. I didn't even notice it anymore. And I'm talking about gone, I mean gone, gone, gone. Okay, I am well past my 100 days right now, and the back pain has absolutely vanished. I don't mean that I've taken it easy either. I have been moving up on my weights in both squats and deadlifts. And if you know anything about back pain and squats and deadlifts, those are like the 2 big chief offenders of how people like throw out their back in the gym. I've been going up on both of those weights and been feeling great in the back. So speaking of inflammation, let's talk about something really fun. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. It's something called hemorrhoids. Yes, we're talking about hemorrhoids today. Isn't that fun? So I looked this up, and it says that about half of all adults will develop hemorrhoids within their 50s or before that. I had them as a teenager. Let that sink in. That's about 35 years before everyone else gets it. I've had it. So half my life I've been dealing with hemorrhoids. So the few months preceding going carnivore, my hemorrhoids got embarrassingly unbearable. I was sitting on pillows, I was buying any kind of cream and putting it places, I was taking Epsom salt baths. It got to the point to where my descended hemorrhoid prevented me from getting a full night's sleep. Like I could not even sleep through the night because of the pain going on there. I told you we'd be talking about really fun stuff today, didn't I? Within days of going carnivore, like before the first week, the descended hemorrhoid was gone and I didn't have hemorrhoids anymore. Speaking of hemorrhoids, let's talk about hemorrhoids, shall we say older brother? And that is constipation. So story time. I remember one of my first memories. I'm talking about like if I have a half dozen memories in my head of my earliest memories of childhood, one of my first memories is sitting in a pediatrician's office on that crunchy paper and having my pediatrician examine me, let's say, and her explaining to my parents how backed up I was. Super embarrassing, but here we are talking about it. Within 10 days on the carnivore diet, I am not constipated anymore. I will spare you the details there, but just trust me, we're good. We're good down there. 30 years and then something's fixed in like 10 days is a really big deal. Hey, if you are enjoying this video and these kind of weird personal stories, do me a favor, like and subscribe. I don't normally go into this much personal detail on this channel, so liking and subscribing can help me know if this is the kind of stuff that's actually giving you value. So now let me get into the bonus kind of like unexpected reasons. The thing, not the reasons that I got into this, but absolutely welcomed changes for me. Number one was a mental health increase. So I've had mental health challenges since I was in high school. I remember seeing a professional in high school about that.
I just feel so angry.
And my whole life, I had thought to myself, I'm a stressed person, but hey, everyone else is stressed. I'm just not managing it very well. But I'm as stressed as everybody else. And I would say probably at about 30 days of going carnivore, something really clicked for me. And that was that ruminating thoughts, like the swirling, stressful thoughts about the future, were gone. And I remember realizing like, oh, this must be how most other people are functioning. Before I was carnivore, I would not have said that I was a depressed person. I would have said, yeah, you know, I get sad, but everyone does. After 30 days in and seeing kind of the other side of that, it was eye-opening to me. And I can look back and say, oh yeah, that's what depression feels like. So I don't want to say I don't feel sadness or stress anymore. That's not the message here. I guess you could say I'm very good at like labeling thoughts now. And when you can label thoughts, you can manage them better and think more clearly. Also, brain fog, a thing of the past as well. I also got a lot stronger during this 100 days of carnivore. I have mentioned I like working out. I like going to the gym. I like spending time just connecting with my body. And I have been on this kind of like vicious cycle the past few years of plateau, push, injury, and really never being able to get to a point where I feel like I am getting stronger. So without changing my gym routine at all, I can say without question that the past 100 days I've gotten stronger. I took an in-body scan with a pretty sophisticated muscle body fat detector. But let me talk a little bit just about raw strength. So deadlift, I mentioned deadlift when I was talking about back pain, something I was scared to do because of my back pain. After a month or two into carnivore, I said, hey, let's give it a shot again. So I had kind of a dream number of like where I always wanted to get with deadlift. And I remember being able to get there at the gym and feeling really happy about that. That was my dream for a 1 rep max. And I ended up doing 5 reps in there. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Like I hit the goal and then I 5x'd it in that same moment. And so I just kind of kept slapping on more weights to it. And I ended up putting on 80 pounds more than what I had originally started with and getting a single rep max with that. So let that sink in. I went from a weight that I thought was going to be my 1 rep max. I did 5 of that, and then I added 80 pounds to that and got a new 1 rep max in 1 day. That was something really cool on the carnivore diet. So like I mentioned, I did do a body scan before and after, and I gained 4 pounds of muscle during this 100 days, which leads me to my next exciting development, and that is better body composition. I was so thrilled to see a lot of changes in the mirror and on the scale. So how much weight total did I lose? I lost 6 pounds total. Now, 6 pounds over 100 days of what some might call a strict diet is not that much weight. There are diets out there that you can lose more weight in 100 days. I fully accept that. However, I gained 4 pounds of muscle, which means I lost 10 pounds of fat. So 10 pounds of fat lost in 100 days, that's pretty darn sustainable. That's about a pound of fat lost every 10 days. So that was a really big win for me. When I look at body fat percentage, which is kind of the big number that I have been chasing, I lost almost 5% total body fat. 5% body fat in 100 days is a really big deal. And that's the number that I was most thrilled to see when I was done. Here's why I don't plan to be strict carnivore for the rest of my life. I think there's room for compromise. I think in a local focused diet, there's room to eat seasonally. The big reason of doing this when I did it was during the winter time, when the seasonal food of wintertime actually is meat, at least in most parts of the world. And we grow a lot of the food we eat here. I'm excited to, when the occasion calls for it, leave room for moderate amounts of fruits and moderate amount of vegetables. Again, I'd still say 90 or 95% of my diet is what it was during the 100-day sprint of carnivore. One last thing I'll say on that is I think that there's a place for compromise just for the sake of life and living life. I'll give you an example. My family, we have this tradition where Sunday when we get home from church, we make guacamole and we have chips and guacamole with the kids. That's something fun. It's, I wouldn't say that's a vicious habit. Like that's a pretty good thing. So what's worth it to you as a family? I've been asking myself that question. And so I might have 2 or 3 chips now. But I also buy myself a bag of like pork rinds, and I'll have pork rinds with the guacamole. I love the carnivore diet. I would say I'm a casual carnivore. 90 or 95% of my life is still the carnivore diet. I just have room for flexibility when it calls for it. So if you like this video and you like the carnivore lifestyle, you might want to check out this video. It's where I introduce a concept called silvopasture, and that's the idea where you raise animals underneath trees. It's absolutely better for the animal. It makes them happier and healthier. It produces better meat. And silvopasture is something that is very near and dear to my heart of regenerative agriculture. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for stopping by today.